All right, folks, here we go from Las Vegas. Brian Blessing, bangthebook.com. Always invite you to check out the Sports Betting Podcast with Adam Burke. We talk about week one of the NFL, a little golf. It's always a lot of fun. I join Adam on Tuesdays. He's got great information throughout the week. Follow me on Twitter, at Brian Blessing. First full week of the NFL, we're excited about that, but it's week number 2 in college football. And now we see adjustments from the line makers. In fact, some of these teams have played 2 games. So let's dive into some of the games and the movement already and what may occur the remainder of the week. Hey, how about Liberty? Good for them. Listen, they had their game circled against ODU. They weren't allowed in their conference. They said, well, we'll show you. How about Turner Gill? They get the job done, a boat race. Now they've got to go to take on Army, who's a 9.5-point favorite in this spot. A little tougher sledding for Liberty and could be a letdown spot, but know that they were prepping for that game with ODU forever. Western Michigan minus 28. Harbaugh, how hot is that seat going to get? They'll get a little regional deal going on here. And the week after playing Notre Dame, Michigan could be mad or the air's out of the balloon. Air Force and Florida Atlantic. And we're looking at Florida Atlantic, a 9.5-point favorite. But here's the story. The total's gone from 63.5 up to 67 with good reason. Air Force beat Stony Brook 38-0. Probably showed very little in the process. Florida Atlantic allowed 63 to Oklahoma. No great disgrace in that. They lost 63-14. But these teams could put points on the board. Look for Kiffin's troops to be a lot better this week. Duke Northwestern. Northwestern's 3. Totals 48.5. You might see some points in this game. Northwestern beat Purdue 31-27, and Duke with a solid win over Army 38-14. Mississippi State's a team we talked about in our previews leading up to the season. Really stout, athletic, offensive football team here. 7.5 goes up to 9.5. They easily beat Stephen F. Austin 63-6. Kansas State had a rally to beat South Dakota, but no, Snyder's a veteran coach. They almost got themselves in a big pickle, but they were saving everything for this week. As a home dog, Kansas State could be pretty attractive here. Arizona and Houston. Arizona's got to wake up. I think there could be something different going on in this game. Houston's laying 4. Totals from 66 up to 72. They tried to make Khalil Tate a pocket passer in that first game against BYU. Let the guy use his legs. It's one of his strengths. I bet you he runs more. I bet you the Arizona offense is more effective. And that would lead me to believe that move towards the over is spot on. Houston beat Rice 45-27. Oklahoma 25.5 up to 30 because UCLA couldn't look any worse. Then you get UTEP and UNLV. And this is interesting. UNLV a 23.5-point favorite, but last year's like a 40-plus point favorite. They lost to Howard. They were respectable against USC in their opener. Buffalo and Temple. Temple's a 5-point favorite. Unbelievably, it's a regional deal, and they usually give a hard time. But Temple lost to Villanova. Buffalo, I think, is a really good team in the MAC with Tyree Jackson, great wide receivers. This could be a statement game for Buffalo, catching points here, because I think they got a chance to win the MAC this year. Georgia's a 10-point favorite over South Carolina, but the total's going from 50.5 up to 55. Texas A&M hosts Clemson. Clemson, 12-point favorite, beat Furman. Texas A&M beat Northwestern State, totals 54.5. Listen, Clemson's an NFL team. Maybe it's a big number on the road, but maybe it's a little low. Penn State laying 9 to Pitt. And don't sleep on App State. They do this all the time. Penn State, life and death, beat them in overtime. Pittsburgh beat Albany. But Pitt is historically a great home underdog. Could be another tough spot for the Nittany Lions. USC and Stanford. Stanford 4.5 up to 5. Stanford beat San Diego State, but Bryce Love didn't do anything in that game. Look for them to get him going. And the kid, quarterback for USC, seemed to get his act together in the second half of that game. Totals up 54.5 to 56.5. We identified this as a potential trap spot weeks and weeks and weeks ago. That is Michigan State and Arizona State. This number was in the 9-10 range in the summer. It's only 6 now, but could be a tough spot for Michigan State going out of conference, traveling cross country. And finally, Hawaii is one of the most entertaining teams you see. I mean, this is the real deal run and shoot. Mouse Davis run and shoot. McDonald, the quarterback's been phenomenal. They can light you up. They don't really stop anybody. And Rice lost to Houston 45-27. So I think we can see points galore. But this Hawaii team, if they stay focused, because they have a bye next week, then have to long travel to play Army. If Hawaii stays focused, this team could be 3-0 and an entertaining 3-0 at that. week 2 for most teams, college football. Bang the Book, great information, sports betting podcast at bangthebook.com. Follow me on Twitter at Brian Blessing. Always glad to be with you here at bangthebook.com.